Hello friends, Lady Colin Campbell, a well-known figure, has teamed up with Samantha Markle and Thomas Markle to shed light on something many of us have questioned for years: the true legitimacy of certain children and their place in the royal line of succession. As you know, I've been following this story closely, and there's always been something off about those pregnancies that didn't sit right with me. And on a more tragic note, we can't ignore how Thomas Markle has been treated. He simply wants to meet his grandchildren, regardless of biological ties. Throughout this whole situation, Meghan's harsh treatment of him, excluding him and casting him as the villain in their narrative, shows her true character. When Lady Colin Campbell called for clarification on the succession issue, she made an excellent point. The future of the British monarchy is on the line here, and it's not just about family drama. The line of succession should not be clouded with doubt. What's really telling here is the silence from Montecito. No explanations, no denials, just more the same victimization when they're questioned about anything. Whether it's racism, jealousy, or media bias, they always blame someone else. Their own actions never seem to come back to haunt them. It makes me wonder how different things could have been if Harry had married someone who truly respected the institution and understood what it means to be royal. Instead, he fell for someone who saw the crown as nothing more than a stepping stone to Hollywood fame. And now here he is, living in California, away from his family, making awkward films and writing memoirs, all while watching his brother and sister-in-law carry on the traditions he once knew. It's like watching a car crash in slow motion. What's even sadder is that Harry probably doesn't even realize how much he's been manipulated. Every decision he's made, starting with that first "what's the Commonwealth" moment, seems to have been carefully planned to distance him from his roots and his family. The man who once proudly served his country is now reduced to reading audiobooks and making appearances at progressive events. But let's focus on the recent revelations. Samantha Markle isn't just making baseless accusations when she talks about those frozen eggs months before Archie's supposed birth. She's sharing information her father told her, first-hand knowledge from someone still in contact with Meghan at the time. This isn't speculation. The rushed wedding, the perfectly timed pregnancy announcement at Princess Eugenie's wedding, because heaven forbid anyone else gets 5 minutes of attention, and the mysterious birth arrangements. All of this seems more like a carefully orchestrated public relations campaign than a real royal pregnancy and delivery. The royal insider's statement about rumors circulating for years is significant. These concerns have been around for a long time, not just recently. But now, as more people speak up and new information comes to light, it's becoming harder to ignore the glaring questions. Lady Colin Campbell has every right to seek proof in this situation. It's exactly what any responsible institution would do. The line of succession to the British throne is no small matter and shouldn't be brushed aside with victim stories or privacy arguments. Remember how defensive they became when the pregnancy was discussed. Why did they immediately accuse someone of racism or privacy invasion? These are classic tactics used to deflect attention when there's something to hide. Because let's be honest, if everything was above board, why not just be transparent about it? And considering their history with truth, such as the passport supposedly revoked, the doors supposedly shut, the secret wedding that never happened, and the media that was supposedly non-racist, each of their allegations has fallen apart like a house of cards. But this situation is different. They can't escape this issue by focusing on something trivial. The legitimacy of having 2 children in the line of succession to the British throne is a serious constitutional issue. This is crucial ground. What really bothers me is how they've used these children, keeping them out of the spotlight when it doesn't suit their needs and then parading them for publicity when it does. Remember those perfectly timed photo releases whenever bad news was piling up? The carefully staged first day of school pictures to boost their image. And now, where are those children? The supposed heirs to the British throne are harder to spot than Tyler Perry's private jet. This fits into the same pattern of control and manipulation we've seen from the beginning. There's a stark contrast with William and Catherine's children. George, Charlotte, and Louis are being raised with the right balance of privacy and civic responsibility. They attend the right events and are allowed to experience life while fulfilling their royal duties. They are preparing for their future. roles, and learning about their responsibilities. But what do Lilibet and Archie know about their heritage, about the family they are supposedly part of? What about the tradition and history they should be connected to? Their parents have created a bubble around them, isolating them from everything and everyone that should be a natural part of their lives. Do you remember the secrecy surrounding Archie's birth? It all starts to make sense now, doesn't it? How they completely ignored royal tradition, refusing to do the usual hospital portrait and suddenly switching from Frogmore to Portland Hospital. Let's also consider Samantha Markle's recent shocking revelation to Dan Wootton. Thomas Markle had mentioned Meghan's frozen eggs months before Archie was said to be born. It's impossible to ignore the connection. If everything was happening naturally, why would frozen eggs even come up? Lady C was absolutely right when she said the whole situation smells fishy. Meghan is the one to blame for this entire mess, and Harry's weakness has allowed it to spiral out of control. It's remarkable that in 2025, we are still debating the legitimacy of royal heirs. But these two have truly set a new standard for drama, haven't they? Lady Colin Campbell is spot on. This issue needs to be addressed once and for all. The truth about who is actually in line for the British throne should be made clear. These doubts shouldn't be hanging over the monarchy. If Harry and Meghan truly have nothing to hide, they should want to put these rumors to rest. Will they? Of course not. They'll continue with their familiar routine, playing the victim, complaining about racism, insisting on their privacy, and avoiding the truth. Isn't that always their playbook? That's all they seem capable of. The saddest part is that none of this had to happen in the first place. Harry could have had it all. A loving family, a meaningful career, and the chance to make a real difference in the world. Instead, he chose a path filled with PR stunts, Netflix deals, endless drama, and constant controversies. It's heartbreaking to see King Charles trying to modernize the monarchy while dealing with this ongoing spectacle from California. Same goes for William and Catherine, who continue to carry themselves with grace and dedication, only to face repeated attempts to disrupt their efforts. Yet as they say, the truth always comes to light. Every day brings us closer to clarity, thanks to voices like Lady Colin Campbell, Samantha Markle, and Thomas Markle, who refuse to stay silent. The questions surrounding Meghan and Harry, particularly about the legitimacy of their children's place in the royal line of succession, continue to capture attention and spark discussions from all directions. At its core, this issue goes far beyond simple curiosity about the future heirs of the royal family. It's about Meghan's relentless efforts to shape public perception and redefine royal expectations and transparency. With every new chapter in this unfolding story, the illusion fades further, revealing what increasingly feels like a calculated attempt to mislead the public. Let's consider a basic and undeniable truth. Meghan's demand for privacy and the secrecy surrounding her pregnancies stand in stark contrast to the royal traditions she claimed to honor. When news of her pregnancies broke, the world was expected to accept the narrative presented, regardless of whether it followed royal customs. There was no iconic hospital steps photo, no shared glimpse of a family moment, a tradition that has long served as a symbolic connection between the monarchy and the people. Instead, the public was told that Meghan prioritized privacy, and this unusual request was granted by the very institution built on transparency. But here's the question. Why all the secrecy when a high-ranking member of the royal family is expecting? Openness has always been an unspoken expectation, especially for those in the line of succession. The royal family symbolizes unity, tradition, and service. Yet Meghan appeared to place herself above these responsibilities. She sought privacy on one hand, while actively seeking media attention whenever it suited her interests. It almost seemed like a calculated PR tactic. Demand privacy while strategically using her children to capture global media attention. What's even more striking is the predictable response whenever new questions or concerns arise. Whether it's about the births of her children or other aspects of her life, the reaction is always the same. Blame the media, cry foul, or claim victimhood. This pattern only adds to the growing doubts and criticism surrounding her actions. In every case, Meghan's narrative shows significant inconsistencies. If everything had been straightforward, why the strange reactions? Instead of providing clear explanations, she chose to craft an image of herself as a misunderstood victim under constant attack. The irony is hard to miss. her silence only deepens the suspicions, making it harder for people to accept her story at face value. The central issue here shouldn't be overlooked. Questions about Archie's and Lilibet's positions in the royal line of succession exist for a reason, and it stems from the circumstances surrounding their births. Despite their efforts to avoid scrutiny, Meghan and Harry have never directly addressed the possibility that surrogacy might have played a role. This isn't just idle speculation. It's a question that carries significant weight, casting uncertainty over the future of the monarchy. The secrecy surrounding the births, the choice of unconventional medical professionals, and the lack of transparency have only fueled the doubts. Think about it logically. If Meghan truly carried these children herself, why insist on such extreme privacy? Why disregard royal traditions that have been upheld for generations? Her decision to shield her pregnancies from public view and distance, her children from the people, only raises more questions. Then there's the glaring contradiction in her actions. Meghan presents herself as a champion for women's rights, privacy, and dignity. Yet time and again, her actions undermine these very ideals. It's as if she's playing a game where the rules shift to fit her needs, while the blame is conveniently placed on others. This inconsistency has only deepened the public skepticism. This isn't some dramatic Hollywood story. It's about the British line of succession. Right now, the very integrity of the monarchy is under question, not just a matter of privacy. Here's something to think about. If surrogacy had been involved, these children wouldn't even qualify for the line of succession. According to tradition, heirs must be born to a titled royal mother, with no exceptions. Archie and Lilibet are currently 6th and 7th in line for the throne. The recent revelations from Samantha Markle about frozen eggs and earlier discussions with Thomas Markle have only added more controversy to an already heated situation. What makes these claims stand out is that they aren't mere rumors. They come from people who once played close roles in Meghan's life, individuals with direct insight into the details she seems determined to hide. Despite this, she continues to deny everything, presenting herself as a misunderstood victim of a harsh patriarchal media. If there's nothing to hide, why all the elaborate storytelling? Amid this chaos, it's hard to ignore the theatrical nature of it all. Meghan's actions often seem staged, designed with drama and media manipulation in mind. From perfectly timed announcements to strategically released photos, every move feels calculated to control the narrative when things start to slip. It's as though she's mastered the role of the damsel in distress. Whenever the situation becomes uncomfortable, a fresh revelation emerges, conveniently diverting attention and steering the public's focus away from deeper issues. We're expected to believe this is all natural, that events simply played out this way. But fewer and fewer people are buying it. The cracks in her carefully crafted image are becoming too obvious to overlook. The persona she presents appears to be nothing more than an intricate illusion, a game of smoke and mirrors where she pulls all the strings to maintain control. The truth remains unclear, but with time, more people are beginning to see through the facade. Meghan's questionable claims about her children's births have only added to the skepticism. Perhaps the most telling aspect of this entire situation is her apparent disregard for the monarchy's deep-rooted sense of duty. Her actions show little respect for tradition or the meaning of being part of such a historic institution. In contrast, Catherine, the Princess of Wales, has gracefully balanced her responsibilities as a mother and as a royal. Meghan, however, appears to view her royal position as merely a tool to advance her personal brand. Upholding the values of the monarchy doesn't seem to be her priority. Instead, it's about shaping a narrative that benefits her. When it comes to her children, it's strikingly evident that they are not celebrated for the legacy they belong to. Instead, their connection to the royal family seems more like a means to serve a carefully crafted image. Meghan's children appear to be treated more as tools to further her career than as cherished individuals. Every public appearance and carefully released photo seems like a calculated effort to maximize attention while revealing as little as possible. At the same time, the children themselves, if they are indeed her biological children, are kept largely out of public view, shielded from scrutiny. Then there's her treatment of Thomas Markle, a father who seemingly wanted nothing more than to be part of his grandchildren's lives. Meghan's handling of him has been nothing short of distressing. She has consistently portrayed him as the villain in a narrative that could have unfolded very differently. Her actions toward her father raise serious doubts about her character. Does she truly value family? Or is she willing to sever any relationship? That doesn't align with her agenda. The way she has discarded her father, much like others who don't fit into a carefully crafted image, reveals where her priorities truly lie. In the end, Meghan's lack of transparency, constant media manipulation, and obsession with controlling the narrative have only pushed away those who might have supported her. The monarchy has endured for centuries because of its dedication to public service and a deep sense of duty. Meghan's actions, however, suggest she sees it as nothing more than a tool for her personal ambitions. In her view, tradition seems to be an obstacle to discard when it no longer suits her goals. As more voices come forward and additional details emerge, it's becoming increasingly evident that the truth is being deliberately concealed. The legitimacy of her children's place in the royal line of succession is not a matter that can be ignored. This goes beyond privacy or family disputes. It's about principles and integrity. This isn't just about Meghan and Harry. It's about the future of the British monarchy itself. Unless they come forward with the truth, these lingering questions will continue to cast doubt on the very institution they claim to support. We've broken down every angle of this unfolding story. While the full truth may not yet be clear, it's obvious that many signs point to a carefully planned strategy rather than a series of random events. Can Meghan and Harry keep hiding the truth? Will the mystery surrounding their children ever be solved? This story is far from finished and we'll have to keep following the developments. If you found this analysis insightful and want to stay updated on the latest videos, be sure to like, comment your thoughts below, and subscribe to the channel so you never miss an update. Don't forget to share this video with anyone else who's following the story. We'll keep you updated with fresh, exciting, and dramatic content. Thanks for tuning in. What frustrates me the most is the stark contrast between how Miss Montecito approaches childbirth and how Catherine handles pregnancy. Our Princess of Wales, Catherine, has always embodied elegance and openness. After each delivery, she proudly shared her joy with the public, standing gracefully on those hospital steps. She understands the royal responsibility to the people, which is what true royals do. But for Ms. Markle, it's all about privacy. There's no openness or tradition, just smoke and mirrors from the woman who's turned manipulation into an art form. Everything is shrouded in mystery. And poor Harry, how far he's fallen from a beloved prince to just another puppet in California following her lead. Let's not forget, this is the same woman who fabricated stories about racist comments regarding her unborn child and lied about everything from her so-called confinement in a castle. This is the same woman who claimed she didn't even know what the Commonwealth was and never bothered to Google it. Harry, should we really trust her when it comes to something as important as the legitimacy of potential heirs to the throne? What's even more fascinating is that people within the royal circle are starting to take notice of this ongoing controversy. According to a palace insider cited in several publications, when those closest to the monarchy begin questioning it, you know something is seriously wrong. Let's also talk about timing. Why is everything coming out now? Is it because their Netflix contract is faltering? Did their Spotify deal fall apart? Or are they desperately trying to stay relevant? While William and Catherine continue to embody everything admirable about the modern monarchy. It's heartbreaking to think about King Charles trying to lead the monarchy into a new era while dealing with this circus. Despite the constant attacks from these two attention seekers, William and Catherine have handled everything with incredible grace. Remember Meghan's constant talk about her truth? Maybe the time has come for the real truth to be revealed. Why not just present the facts and put an end to the rumors if there's nothing to hide? But we all know that won't happen, right? If it lies like a Markle and acts like a Markle, then what are we really dealing with here? This whole situation reminds me of an old proverb. If it looks like a duck and quacks like a duck, then it probably is a duck. If it walks like a duck and quacks like a duck, the picture becomes clearer. As more pieces of this puzzle fall into place, it's becoming evident that something major is being hidden. From the timing of the discussions about frozen eggs to the mysterious plans surrounding the deliveries, the constant secrecy, and the frequent distractions, it all suggests something significant is being concealed. What truly frustrates me is The way these children, whether or not they are biologically theirs, are being used as pawns in their parents' quest for attention and relevance. These innocent kids are being dragged into a whirlwind of their parents' frantic need for fame and significance. It's incredibly sad and heartbreaking to witness.